and born.
Okay. So in Columbia, is it still Rebel Grove?
No, the village in Columbia didn't have a name because the fair was evolving and it was starting out as a very young festival, and we went through many different monarchs and time periods. As you can imagine, money was a little tight initially, and so a lot of our entertainment was from the Markland Medieval Militia and the Society for Creative Anachronism, who staged huge battles for us. And we didn't have a lot of wandering and a lot of stage entertainment like we do now. And we started as an Elizabethan show, went to Henry, and then came back to Elizabeth. And so we were still searching for our identity at that point. And when we opened here in Crownsville, we were an Elizabethan Renaissance Festival with Queen Elizabeth for many years, and then switched in 1988 to Henry, feeling it was a more easily identifiable figure for people. When people think of Queen Elizabeth, they think of the current Queen Elizabeth, not being rabid Anglophiles. Whereas when you mention Henry VIII, everybody thinks turkey leg and a big stein of ale and a jovial fellow with a beard and lots of wives.
So what exactly is a Henry Fair?
Well, a lot of a festival with Henry VIII for the Americans is more understandable and appreciable figure for what we're trying to convey, which is fun, frivolity, a sense of romanticism and chivalry, knights, whereas an Elizabethan fair is a little later in time, and there would have been fewer people in armor and more refined costuming. For an agrarian English countryside, we felt that utilizing Henry VIII as our monarch would be a better image of what we were trying to promote for the festival. When we had a festival in Canada, we used Elizabeth more so than Henry, although we eventually went to Henry so that we could have, we started with Henry and then we evolved to Elizabeth. We were with Henry initially because of the same costuming, and we could share them between the two festivals. But we developed an Elizabethan fair because most Canadians are actually more familiar with Queen Elizabeth I. And the Canadian audience was very well versed in their history. And so when you're playing part of their history, it was important to get it right.
So what exactly are you trying to promote?
The Maryland Renaissance Festival is not a living history venue, and we are an entertainment venue with a theme, and there shouldn't be a mistake that we are trying to recreate the period of Henry VIII here. We do borrow all the characters, or most of the characters here, from history, but really that's where it ends, and we really try and promote a festival that is fun for the people coming to visit it and not put on for the benefit of the people doing the show. And so that's why you see so many people who come here in costume and create such a wide range of characters at the festival from our own attendees. We sell over 2,000 Fair Ever passes to people who want to come every day to the festival, or more than 4 or 5 times, because at that point it starts to become a better deal to buy a Fair Ever pass. And what we really are promoting is what we call high touch, not high tech entertainment, where you are immersed in the entire village and all your senses are affected. When you go to a movie and sit there, which I really enjoy movies and go to a lot of them, and I enjoy the atmosphere, but they have to tell you when to laugh, and they can do sights, they can do great explosions, they can do sounds, but they can't do textures, they can't do smells, they can't do tastes, and they can't immerse you in it completely. It's still happening in front of you, whereas when you walk through our streets, there are ambient sounds coming from all over, music, conversation, people yelling from far away to other characters, and you really do become part of the village. And if you pay your ticket and come here and don't do anything, you're at least a witness to it. If you pay your ticket and become somewhat involved, sit down with the people in the theaters and watch the shows, everything is spontaneous. And the laughter is shared by the people next to you. And whereas in a movie theater, unless it's extremely crowded, everybody leaves a seat between each other. At our shows, you'll see people just bunch right up on the bench and share them and get down closer, and because it is a communal shared experience.
I'm going to be jumping around from question to question because you just
cut right there.